Hey guys, welcome to another video. And in this video, I wanted to do a quick review of the song We're In This Together by Justin Bieber off of his EP Freedom. And this was another, song that to me was just, I shouldn't say it was as much of a complete 180 after listening to All She Wrote. But it was amazing to just hear Justin Bieber continue to experiment and continue to rap and everything. And I think Justin did like an interview not too long ago where he talked about, I think him and John Bellion, I think collabed on, I don't know if it was a few tracks or maybe just one track off of this EP. And that was super nice to hear because I know I hadn't heard anything from John Bellion in quite some time. I know he dropped Good Things Fall Apart or something like that with Illenium. But aside from his last album, we just hadn't heard much from him. And so that was super refreshing to hear. And I hope that John Bellion's working on an album as well, because, I'd love to get to hear some new work from him. And yeah, so it was, We're In This Together was just a super good song. And I wanted to play the beginning for you guys because this song, just like All She Wrote, the beginning really kind of drew me in. And also really like all the songs on here, the beginning, they did a really good job of kind of bringing you in with the production. I think it was kind of neat also to just hear him reflecting on the past and just, almost talking about how he thought, he had things figured out, but it's like you almost come to realize that you never had things figured out, and I thought that line in there was super interesting where he was talking about, being a kid and playing drums on the table and not really realizing at the time that was the only thing stable, and it was like with childhood and everything, there's so many things I feel like we look back on that we took for granted. And so hearing him mention that in the track, it was just a different perspective on how, whether you think you have it figured out or whatever, as time goes on, you learn so much about yourself and about life. And yeah, so I think Justin, him and whether it was John Bellion or whoever, they did a phenomenal job of executing on this song and really getting out their message. And the beat was super nice too. And yeah, so I don't know necessarily who Justin worked with as far as, who helped him produce the album. But from, based on some of the videos I've seen from JB's Instagram, it looks like he's starting to dabble more in production. So I'd be curious to know if, he at least co-produced, some of these tracks or all of them. And so, yeah, I'd be super, curious to find that out. So if any of you guys know, please let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I think it's neat. I feel like he's finally at a point also where he's making the music that he wants to make. He's not just recording a track that his record label gave him, or, recording a track that someone, just straight up wrote for him and his record labels, pushing him to, record it and release it. It seems like now he's fully making music that he wants to make and releasing the music that he's proud of. And so, yeah, that's why I think with both this EP and with Justice, it sounds more like I guess I could say Justin's more proud of this body of work, because I don't know what it was for me, but with Changes, some of those tracks like Yummy and things like that, it sounded like to me Justin kind of took some time off and kind of worked on himself, but then it seemed like it had been a year and a half or however long it had been since he had dropped Purpose, or probably a couple years or whatever it had been. But it seemed to me like his label kind of started to, or I don't know if it was his label or he started to feel pressure to release something. And so Changes, to me, it just felt like it was something that they just kind of scrambled to make on the fly. And I think even though his EP was the same way, it just came out a much better product than Changes did. And so, yeah, I'm not sure if maybe it's because Justin had more input, and that's why, Freedom and Justice ended up, I think, sonically sounding better as a whole cohesive project. So of course there were a couple tracks off of Changes that I enjoyed, but I just felt like, especially with Yummy just being such a weird, just awkward, and it was really just a bad track. I think that might be one of the worst songs I've ever heard from Justin. And so to hear him go from that to Freedom and, Anyone and Peaches off of Justice, it was super refreshing to hear. So yeah, you guys, I just wanted to make that quick video and just give you guys my thoughts on that track as a whole. Yeah, We're in This Together was another super good song off of his Freedom EP. And also feel free to let me know in the comments below what your favorite track from Freedom is. And also please, if you guys like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And also tap the notification bell just so you guys get notified every time I release a new video. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one.